Crunch time is here. We're into the final third of this third season of the Mercedes AMG eRacing competition. And where better to begin this final third of the season than at the Temple of Speed itself. My name is James Kirk, and alongside me, as always, is Mr. Robert Wiesenmuller. And Rob, plenty to talk about before we get into the meat and bones of this broadcast, but let's tackle the track which we're going to first. As I said, the Temple of Speed, and why not as well, one of the highest percentage tracks in terms of being on the throttle is the Autodromo de Monza.
Hello everyone, hello James. Yes, round 7 out of 9 in the Mercedes AMG Motorsport eRacing competition, and we are the fastest track of the season. Everyone who follows racing knows this track. In the heart of Italy, Monza. It's a high-speed circuit, very, very spectacular, and 18 drivers are going to challenge here in the Mercedes AMG Motorsport eRacing competition.
It's a competition that has seen its closest season so far in Season 3, and we've seen more pole sitters, more winners, and more takers of podiums than any other season beforehand. And part and parcel of that is the wonderful idea that came forward for this season of taking a little trip through history and trying out plenty of different cars to celebrate 30 years of Mercedes AMG in the DTM, in touring cars. And well, it's time for our penultimate car change. We travel forward a couple of years from the CLK in 2003. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the C-Class of 2005.
Up the inside, in fact, loses it, and bang, right into the side. As soon as he stood up, not her fault at all.
Glückwunsch von uns allen, mega Rennen wieder, Kompliment.
Innensicht von Gary Paffett, trifft hier Alexandre Premar, da geht die Haube von Paffett weg und hier sehen wir es genau, Ralf Schumacher getroffen.
Green immediately chases Scheider, and in the following S-bend, Jamie overtakes Scheider in a unique manoeuvre.
All the rest are celebrated. He's worked for this so hard. He's won it. There is Paul di Resta. I am the number one. Never fail. Bang! Look at that, Gary Paffett straight into that unyielding wall.
Well, it went through a couple of facelifts, but the C-Class, it's got to be up there with one of the most legendary Mercedes of all times. I mean, that's the statistic at the end there. Astonishing. 51 race wins in 85 races, Rob. But don't underestimate, audience, the challenge of driving this car. I know you like to test all the cars and challenge yourself against these top drivers, Rob. And talking before the broadcast, this might be the biggest challenge yet.
Yes. So for everyone who's watching for the first time, of course, this is a virtual race here with the car of 2005 in the Racing Simulation Race Room, which you can download for free. You can also join the competition for free. You can drive this car here, the C-Class from 2005, and you are in for a big challenge, because this car is not easy to drive at all. Got a lot of downforce, got a lot of speed, and especially over the curbs. As usual, a car with a lot of downforce, it can get very tricky over the curbs, and at Monza, you have a lot of them.
It's a car which a lot of drivers returning will see another shift from previous cars. We've actually got a number of new drivers that, because of this car, have jumped into contention to battle in this top 18. So throughout the season, you've seen the likes of Keithley, of Bunky, of Santos, Kunze, Revenak, Honzik and the likes. But, well, our Asian contingent continues to grow stronger after a breakthrough season. Probably, I'd argue, one of the drivers of the season, Andika Rama Maulana. He's almost inspired his country to get up off their feet and say, oh, we want to take part as well. Fikri Sagir, Prarira Jalu and Arwin Taruna all making it in to the top 18 there. So 4 Singaporeans taking part today. We also see Adam Pinches coming in there, Johannes Weiss, who we saw way back in May at a LAN event, and just a really great field. Should be a brilliant race regardless, and I'm excited to see how willing they are to commit to overtaking these cars, because there's a lot of downforce, Rob, which you don't necessarily want at Monza.
No, but I think in these cars, slipstreaming will also be extremely important in the race. You can see it probably already in the qualifying session, which will start in just a few seconds. So yeah, 10 minutes qualifying coming up, and then a 20-minute race. And these 20 minutes, they will decide everything. Let's take a quick look at the standings here in the championship. And the top 5 drivers of this championship, they will qualify for the LAN final at the Hockenheim Ring in October. And it's looking pretty clear at the moment who these top 5 might be, because Santos got a gap of 32 points ahead of Benz Bunky, who's in 6th position. But maybe on Monza, it's very easy to make a mistake. So let's see if Santos and Kunze, and also Keithley, who might be still in danger of losing the position, let's see how they will fare on the Italian circuit.
Yeah, of course, 25 points up for grabs for a win. And it was those 25 points which Santos took last time out at Brands Hatch. Oh my goodness me, a rush for everyone to get out in qualifying. A reminder, if you're not entirely familiar with our race room-based rules here, unlike a lot of real-life racing, once that qualifying counter hits 0, that is the session over. There's no finishing the lap you just started. There's no finishing the last lap that you're on. You have to get to the line in good enough time to ensure that you can set that final lap within the 10-minute session. And to give you an idea of the times that we're aiming for, well, the man that we're on board with, the aforementioned Andre Santos, he took the pre-qualifying pole time, a 1:43.722. However, his teammate over at Euronics Gaming, Julian Kunze, he managed to find another 5/10 on top of him, of 1:43.2. We're not entirely sure, Rob, whether the two of them were working together, because of course the slipstream, if teams can make it work, incredibly powerful around this circuit. But is one of the biggest ifs. And to be fair, at Monza, no matter what racing category you're looking at, it rarely works.
But you can see here, Kunze just went past Maulana in the qualifying session here to be right behind his teammate. So I think the Euronics guys, they will work together. They're easy to spot in the silver AMG cars. A lot of silver cars this time in the field, but they're the car in the front of the shot. That's Santos with the number 4. And then with the pink mirrors, the number 6, that's Julian Kunze, his teammate. Followed by Maulana. So 3 of the top drivers of the championship here starting the qualifying session. And then the championship leader, Kevin Sigi-Rebernak. He is in 4th position here at the moment on the server and also on the track. So let's watch one lap on board with him.
So the Austro-Slovenian heading down this home straight then. Of course, he's picked up his first pole position and win in Season 3, heading into the Variante de Rettifilo chicane. Coming out of there pretty nicely indeed. A little late on the brakes, but I think he managed to recover that one well. Heading around the long Curva Grande. It's so long and so simple that you can get slipstreaming around there, and it's a useful slipstream at that as we head into the Della Rogier chicane, turns 4 and 5, before we head into one of the tightest parts of this circuit, the Curve de Lesmos. Lesmo 1 now, very tight. You've got to wait patiently before you can push the power out and exit, and then the even tighter, but somehow faster, Lesmo 2 out on exit is now down the Serragilio and towards what I'd argue one of the legendary chicanes of all time, named after one of the most famous racing drivers of all time, Ascari. It's a quick left, flick to the right, before it's a further flick to the left. You've got to be on the power ever so gently before it's onto this back straight. More slipstreaming action into one of the more difficult overtaking options on the circuit, and definitely not one of the most preferred, but at the right time, it can prove deadly. It's the Parabolica. It's a tight entry, and then you're unwinding the car further and further and further onto the gas, full power, onto the home straight, onto the longest straight of the track. Kevin Sigi-Rebernak setting good sectors so far. The times coming across the line now, and it's a brilliant first time from Kevin Sigi-Rebernak, a 1:43.707. That's faster than Santos's pre-qualifying time.
Ooh, they almost rolled there in the first chicane, taking a little bit too much curb. And you could see that Julian Kunze actually, he did not set a lap, because that's also one of the things that you have to consider. If you cut the track here, the game will automatically invalidate your lap time. And of course on the circuit with Monza, where there are lots of curbs, it's very easy to invalidate your lap time. But we should talk about the guy who's in 2nd place, because that's the debutant, and that's the guy who has his home race, Simone Puglisi.
This is the first time we've seen him. This is the first time I've ever heard of him, but only 4 tenths off the very experienced Sigi-Rebernak is pretty nice indeed. However, Rob, given that these are the early stages of this qualifying session, only just about reaching the halfway mark, I imagine that we're going to see Puglisi's 2nd place slowly slip down the order into maybe around 10th. And looking at Andre Santos now setting a purple first sector, it's quite easy to see why. Although, oh goodness me, he's lost an awful lot of time in that middle sector, so maybe a mistake along the way, but certainly...
I think it was a slipstream. Rebernak was in the slipstream of Maulana for basically the whole middle sector, and you could see how he's closing up. And without a slipstream for Santos, it's going to be really difficult to set these types of lap times.
Let's see as he comes around the Parabolica now. He's currently, along with Keithley and Puglisi, there we go. It's a bit of a tongue twister, that one. They're all 4 tenths off the pace currently. Crosses the line now. No improvement from Andre Santos, so still that 1:43.707. The benchmark from Sigi-Rebernak as the Turkish driver Emre Shihan, who's been looking to grow in form this season, makes his way into top 5. Still a number of drivers, Rob, who've yet to set a time, making plenty of them unhappy with their attempts so far.
Here's Tim Yarshall, for example, one of the strongest drivers in the championship. He's sitting in the top 10 at the moment. He's driving the car that Stefan Mücke drove in the DTM in 2005. And we've seen it a few times with him this season, that he needs some time to find his grip in qualifying, to set a lap time. But look at the timer. It's only 3 minutes left, and that basically means this lap and another one for Yarshall, and he really has to make it count.
It's crazy to think that 6 minutes have passed already, but again, it's not called the Temple of for nothing. The laps around here are fast and furious. They're also relatively long, though, especially in these cars. Only 20 seconds off a 2-minute lap, which is generally one of the longer ones that you'll see in the racing world. Marshall with a green first sector, and he's a man, Rob, that we've been talking about him all season, showing so much potential, maybe not living up to that full amount as of yet, but here in Season 3, this is his first full season in e-racing in general, so to even be in the top 10 is a massive achievement, as he's sitting a green second sector there as well. Setting purple in both of those sectors, however, is the Singaporean driver Andika Ramamalana, doing a fantastic job here and looking to secure his second pole position of the season after his first last time out in Brands Hatch. Santos actually going into P2 there, only 2 tenths off the pace.
I'm not sure if this was a track limit violation there on the exit of the Ascari by Maulana, but we will see when he crosses the line. Nevertheless, super impressive without a slipstream to set this middle sector.
I call him Singaporean. He's Indonesian, isn't he? It's an Indonesian contingent. I don't know where I got Singapore from. Never mind. Maulana crosses the line now. Crosses the line with no improvement. He stays P6.
Yeah, I think it must have invalidated his lap time there. Because otherwise this time would have been an improvement. But yeah, it can happen so easily.
Jack Keithley now. At the middle of the road first sector. It's a green second sector at least. Green, of course, meaning personal best. Purple meaning best on circuit. And the Englishman, he's not in a bad position there in P4. There's Arwin Taruna, another of the Indonesians, heading up there into P6. But Keithley, one of these people, again, we emphasise they should be safe on the points that they are. There's a massive gap between P5 and P6 in the standings. However,
slipstream.
One of those in the bottom. Slipstream, yeah, crucial on the back straight here. And that season improvement as well. He gets to within a tenth. He gets to within a half a tenth of Kevin Sigi Rebenak. But he's not able to go the entire way. It's only P2.
Oh, and look at Julian Kunze. He's 15th, and he just crossed the line. That's it. No improvement for him.
Wow. Our one-time championship leader. Of course, the first race winner of the season. The first pole sitter of the season. And he's completely dropped off in form. Very much the opposite, actually, to Emre Sheehan, who decides to abandon that lap as well.
Yeah, crazy
struggling to set times. Yeah.
Yeah, Yarshul also without a time. Tocacelli actually not in the race. He had to withdraw shortly before the race. So 17 cars will take the... And Yarshul goes up to 8th position. Just goes ahead of Johannes Weiss. Oh, and that's Taruna.
Maulana.
Oh, Maulana it was.
Yeah.
Taruna actually also impressive. But Maulana P4.
That's a little bit more like it. Jaroslav Honzik as well. That might be his best qualifying effort. Dare I say it, in 3 or 4 races. He's had a miserable season in comparison to Season 2 at the Czech driver, but he's just looking to consolidate points finishes, I feel, at this point. Ben Spunky will be, I'd say, likely our final person to cross the line. If that, a little bit of a wobble on the exit of Parabolica. The Slovakian owned P12 after scoring his first podium in the Merc last time out, and that's a little bit better. It's up to P8. But nobody ultimately, Rob, able to match the pace of Kevin Sigi Rebenak, who picks up his second pole, his first since the Norris ring.
Yeah, but look at Jack Keithley. Look how close he got. He was less than a tenth off at the end. And now we're already ready for the race here, for 20 minutes of racing action.
There's, of course, no formation in that period. It is very much straight into proceedings. Here's the thing, though, Rob. Kevin Sigi Rebenak took his first ever pole position. He ended up taking his first ever win on the same day. Will history repeat itself in a different historical car? We are about to find out. And Jack Keithley, of course, a big opportunity for him to solidify his points finishes and to solidify that place heading into the LAN final.
All the cars lining up now. You can hear the first engines revving as they are ready.
20 minutes of racing action ahead of us here in Italy. The Autodromo di Monza, it always provides. And we're off and away here. It's a decent start there from Kevin Siggy-Rebenak, who instantly goes to the inside to defend that line. It's a tight turn one. Couple of braking incidents certainly here as everyone jockeys for position. But Kevin Siggy-Rebenak, he gets through there well enough. A few people banging balls, and oh my goodness, in the midfield there, a car almost round. A good save there. They're heading into the Curva Grande. It is still the top three as they were. Kevin Siggy-Rebenak leading the way. He's waiting for the timing. Dean Santos in P3. A couple of people, I think it was Sheehan there, yeah, who got a little bit of a tail whip there on the edge of the Retifilia chicane. Go to the De La Roger. Goodness me, the midfield seeing Johannes Weiss, a victim, fall wide into the De La Roger chicane. That does not work, and after a great qualifying session, the German is shuffled to the back of the pack. Honzik's made a decent start up to P9. Taruna down to P10. Kuntz has made up positions up to P11. And Sheehan, as I said, had a bit of a bad start. Lucas Baron now as well. Round at the first of the Lesmos there, losing one of his front lights as we head towards Ascari. Jack Keithley, after a middling start, he's now hooked up right onto the gearbox of Kevin Siggy-Rebenak and in a great position to potentially attack into the Parabolica. Look at this now, going into the slipstream. He closes. But Kevin Siggy-Rebenak, he's got pretty good straight line speed on that Mercedes himself. Heads into the outside goes Jack Keithley. Rebenak's just going to hold the inside line, though. This is where the undercut can potentially be stolen. Tim Yarshall, he's attempting to do that on Puglisi. The Italian in his debut here in Season 3, and he might very well have him, but at the end of lap 1 is Rebenak who leads, Rob, from Keithley, Santos, Malana, Puglisi just staying ahead of Yarshall, Bunky, Honzik, Kunzer and Sheehan, Rebenak and Keithley still going side by side into turn 1. Keithley's going to break ultra 8, going to try and sweep it around the outside, and he's made it stick as well. Brilliant move from the Englishman.
That was a beautiful move by Jack Keithley there, and they gave each other enough space, and now Santos is back in the battle here for the lead.
Around the Curva Grande then, Kevin Siggy-Rebenak, he has to pull out, otherwise he's going to go straight into the rear of Jack Keithley. It's surely not going to go 3 wide. No, it's only 2 wide as Kevin Siggy, he attempts to brake late, but Keithley, brilliant on the brakes. Brakes even later. Oh, a bit of a mistake there through the chicane. But Rebenak's able to keep it up, and these three battling has all of a sudden allowed Malana into the party as well.
And battles continue further down the field. Yarshall and Puglisi super close to each other, and Puglisi is trying to get the position back. We've got Bunky, Honzik, Kunze back in the top 10, and Sheehan who dropped back a little bit at the start.
We have to go up to this battle for the top 4. Goodness me, it's I've not seen it this close at the beginning of a race for a long while. Usually it splits off into maybe a 1v1 battle. Goodness me. What a save there from Kevin Siggy-Rebenak. Again, proving your point, Rob. These cars are super difficult to drive, though Malana, who's scrolled up to the back of these three, he's going to try and make it look easy as he attempts to make the pass on Santos.
I think Malana just got into the back of Santos there on the exit of the Ascari. Super tight racing here.
Through the Parabolica we go then. Malana just looking to hold watching brief. Check out Siggy-Rebenak there. Keithley going to the inside of the racing circuit. They're allowed to cross that pit lane exit line. And Rebenak pulls out to the outside. Going to try and repeal that move, which Keith pulled a lap earlier. No cigar, and Tim Yarshall there still holding off Simone Puglisi. And look at this battle just for the final point as well. Sheehan, after qualifying so well, is having a terrible start of things. Awful exit at the chicane, and one of our debutants, Fikri Sagir, he's up into the top 10 himself. In fact, look at that, his compatriot, Pereira Jalou, he's through as well. And is this going to be a triple overtake through the Curva Grande? Henry Sheehan losing 3 positions in 2 corners. It's Adam Pinches through as well.
And there you could see the slowdown penalties. In effect, he just got too far over the curb there, tried to cut the track a little bit too much, and he gets immediately punished for it. And now out of the points for Emre Cihan, and that's got to be frustrating after such a good performance in the pre-qualifying.
Qualifying indeed. And so Sheehan out the points, but well in the points, these top 4 still. I'm looking at Tim Yarshall behind, and he seems to have cleared Puglisi a little bit. I do wonder whether he's going to catch up to this battle, Rob, because one of the great stats that we've had through Season 3 is, with the exception of Tim Heinemann, who of course won the Mercedes Museum event, we have had a different winner at every single race in league play. Now, as things stand, that's going to change because the top 4, they've all won a race this season. If Tim Yarshall gets involved, however, well, maybe we might see a little change in that.
Yeah, we might, but he really has to catch up now to Maulana. And it seems like Keithley is going a very, very strong pace at the front of the field. Very hard to follow for Revanak. Oh, and the battle rages on here. Pinches in the white car. That's Sajir ahead of him in the silver one. And Gian on the outside. Oh, nice move by Gian.
Oh, lovely. He clips the inside curbing and gets away with that very nicely indeed. So he's taken back one of those 3 positions which he's lost. He's now got to go through the Indonesian duo of Sagir, and actually Jalou's made his way past Sagir in the time that we've not been with them.
Oh, Santos off.
Going wide. That's Santos. And off he goes. Oh, and a really not great rejoin, it must be said. Tim Yarshall benefiting there. And last time's race winner, Andre Santos, all of a sudden he finds himself in the claws of Simone Puglisi.
That was a superb reaction by Tim Yarshall there. Just avoided Andre Santos, and this means Yarshall is one step closer to his first victory, but now we have to see Puglisi, the strong debutant, trying around the outside against Santos into Ascari.
It's not often done there, and indeed Puglisi deciding to tuck up into the rear wing of Santos. Watch out for Ben Spanky as well. He's made a strong start to this race. It's been a little quiet. He's getting the position there up to P7. Of course, the Slovakian taking his first ever podium in the season. And look at this, looking to take advantage of the battle ahead of him. Oh my goodness, is that Puglisi going all the way around the outside of Parabolica? No, it is not, but I do like the attempt there, Simone, trying to find different ways to throw Santos off guard.
We just have to take a look back at the front though, because Revanak is really close now to Keithley. And he could maybe do the same move that Keithley did on him.
Around the outside once again, but Keithley breaks late. He knows how to defend that line incredibly well. But look at Ben Spanky here! Double overtake! He uses the slipstream to his maximum advantage. He does take advantage of the battle ahead. He skips both Puglisi and Santos. He skips up into P5.
Great move by Bunky. He's trying to keep his chances alive to qualify for the final, and that means he needs to beat Santos.
He is doing at the moment, though. Andre Santos, the German, he's not going to let that by as they head through the De La Rogier chicane. Santos has got to be careful, though. He's been off there before, and Puglisi, ever the eager driver looking to impress potential suitors out there, he'll want a top 5 for himself, especially in his home race as well. What glory that would be. They head through Lesmo 2 there, and it's ever so quiet. He's there as well. P8, Onzik in close pursuit as well. And then it's a real gap back actually to Jalou in P10. So for these guys, they can potentially just hold off for now. They don't have to put their car at risk, especially with just over 50% of the race left to go.
And I think Onzik, he didn't have a good season so far. He's just sitting there waiting for the mistakes of the other drivers, trying to capitalize on it, as Puglisi and Kunze are side by side now. Puglisi stays ahead, oh, and that's Santos.
Yep. Oh, look at the inside there from Julian Kunze. No success this time around, and like I say, he's got to be careful. Just one mistake, and you're going to have the car behind you ready to go. This 5-way battle now for P5 is further up ahead. Ben Spunky. Look at this, Andre Santos.
Ooh, that was late.
That's a little bit naughty there from Ben Spunky. You are, of course, allowed one move over and into the other side, but you've got to leave enough room for a car width, and trying to muscle his way up the inside is Puglisi. And if ever I've seen an Italian move, Rob, that would be it. Andre Santos, I feel a little bit hard done by.
Yeah, that was a proper punch. It didn't really help Puglisi, because now he has to defend against Kunze, who's already ahead with his nose. Kunze on the outside. Yeah, later on the brakes, takes the position, so nothing gained really for Puglisi, except maybe a penalty after the race.
Kunze up to P6 then. Puglisi down to P7. I'm pretty sure that incident. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, he's just even trying to hand over fist in this particular situation. Although he's still losing time to Tim Yarshall ahead. who is still losing time to the top 3 ahead. Keithley and Rebenak still so close within a second. But Keithley unable to find, well, I should say Rebenak unable to find the way past as we cross the halfway mark of this race.
Such a strong performance by Jack Keithley. And he's been getting stronger and stronger as the season progresses, because I think he's also a lot stronger in cars that have more downforce. And you can see that now. Oh, we have to go to the back because they are going very wild there. It's Puglisi once again who has to defend, this time against Honzik.
It's hard to believe that, Jack Keithley had a really inconsistent, some would say bad start to the season. It's almost more inconceivable to believe that Jaroslav Honzik is a race winner in this competition, albeit in Season 2. Looking to make amends here as he tries to tuck up into the slipstream. Puglisi's doing the same with Julian Kunze up ahead. Heading into turn 1. Is Honzik going to brake late? Is he going to take advantage? He sticks his nose up the inside. But there's, once again, no way through. Puglisi shuts the door. Honzik not under any pressure from André Santos as of yet, but the German's still watching brief. And actually, all of these incidents ahead have allowed Carrera Jalou to slowly catch up, and he's dragging Seguir with him. The two rookies, the two debutants, working very nicely together, and potentially more spoils for them as the race unfolds.
Yes, and I mean, now in the second half of the race, the fights will just get tougher, and you can see here at the front of the field as well, Keithley has gapped Rebenak, who now has to defend against Maulana. And that means no slipstream for Rebenak, of course.
I don't think the slipstream's going to be the least of his worries. He's got an Indonesian going on the optimum line into Ascari, though. Look at that again. Rebenak showing good top line speed on his own without the slipstream. He's able to hold off Maulana for now. But you feel a move is coming, Rob. Especially since, I mean, Rebenak has had such a severe drop-off in comparison to Keithley. You can tell he's in full defense mode.
This could be it here on the inside. Into the Parabolica, late on the brakes. Is he gonna make it stick here? Yes, nice move.
Though, the problem with a move into the Parabolica is what I was alluding to earlier. It's not the preferred overtaking spot, because now you have the longest straight on the circuit at your mercy, at your pleasure, depending on what side of the coin you're looking at. And Kevin Seguir-Rebenak, with already good speed, eases his way past on the straight. Maulana's going to brake late, however. Rebenak tries to swing his way around the outside, but once again he falls foul of that corner. Maulana confirmed into P2, and Puglisi with another punt on the exit there. This time he might lose place to the man who punted off previously. Honzik there getting away with it. But Santos, he's going to look to go around the outside completely of the Curva Grande. Puglisi, he's certainly made his mark on this race, shown good pace, shown sketchy racecraft. He remains in P8 for now. Santos will be very eager indeed to take that position back, however.
Oh, and now he cut the track there. Now you can see it again. Puglisi, no, it was Santos, of course. Santos who cut the track. Yeah. And he loses the position to Jalou, who's been waiting for something like this.
Seguir's made his way past as well. So there are indeed more spoils to the Indonesian duo, and I just wonder whether the actions of Puglisi, whether they've gotten under Santos' skin, because he's gone from the podium positions now to not even scoring a point.
But his teammate Julian Kunze, he can steal points away from Bunky on the outside. Wow, but he has to abandon that move there.
Goodness, that would have been brave / stupid. Again, depending what side of the coin you're on. The Kunze, he is a very experienced driver, and though he's not necessarily in good form, he certainly knows how to race, and he knows that there are better opportunities further up the road. Ben's Bunky clearly not on the same pace as him. Now, Rob, this is his opportunity to take him.
Just have a quick look back at Honzik and Puglisi, but now we're following Bunky here. Bunky, the car with the blue stripe there. Number 2 still ahead, and it seems like he's running a different wing or gearing configuration compared to Kunze, who's losing a little bit of time there on the straight.
Behind is that Puglisi and Honzik going into battle again? Yes, it is. And look at André Santos trying to find his way back into the points. Seguir holding on for now, but the more time he spends holding up Santos, the more time that's going to allow Jalou to go further up the road. Kunze now looking on the outside of the De La Rogier chicane for Ben's Bunky. It's going to be, again, a very brave move if he can make it, but there's one line into that chicane, Rob, and Ben's Bunky had it.
Yeah, strong defending by Bunky there. Brave attempt by Kunze, and it just shows the confidence that he has on this car, that he's got the car control there, that he risks to go on the outside and maybe to take the curb there. Oh, a little bit of a mistake though from Kunze, just as I say that. But still, this isn't over. And what a recovery drive.
2 and 3. Oh yeah, I mean, he started outside the top 10. Maulana, though, he is into P2. I was seeing, oh, was there a switch position?
I think it was Revanak who... Revanak got back past him on the straight.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, no, you are right. Never mind me. Never mind me.
But look, maybe Yasha can get his first podium there if they keep fighting like this. Oh, and if they keep fighting like this in the background as well.
Kunze on the outside, but again, Banki with the optimum line. He's defending well, but look at this undercut from Julian Kunze, whipping his way, using the parabolica as it is very much intended as a slingshot. But now as we're onto the home straight, we can see Banki's advantage, pulling away further and further. You can tell he's definitely taken the Sigi Rebanak method of thinking there on the setup. Rebanak still unable to get past, however, Maulana.
Oh, mistake by Banki.
It would have worked better if he hadn't cut the track. Kunze there with a massive tank slapper as well. I'm surprised that Banki hasn't picked up a slowdown penalty from that, to be honest.
Maybe he has. Maybe he just hasn't taken it yet. We will see here. Well, it seems maybe just a very small one.
He did have to brake going over the curbing.
That's strange indeed. Kunze won't be happy about that.
He's got 3.5 minutes to find his way past himself. Up into the top 5, of course, looking back now at Adam Peaches. P12, so Santos has made his way past Sagir fully and has continued to pull away. Sagir now falling back into the hands of the Hungarian Pinches. A nice close battle there. But still this battle rages on for P5. Julian Kunze, you can see how much faster he is in that second sector, but he's going to try around the outside of Ascari yet again. Yet again, it's not going to come off, Rob. Banki with good defending. All he has to do is place his car on the optimal line. The German's not going to find his way past. It's as simple as that.
I think Kunze is getting more and more impatient. That was once again a risky attempt, and he really wants to get into the top 5 here. Also, he wants to steal the points from Banki, who is one of the guys who could ruin it for him that he goes to the final.
He's going to need a big point swing in these final 3 rounds. You can see to the full extent here the difference in wing setting. Once Kunze actually has a little bit of leeway, he's going to brake late into turn 1. He's going to try around the outside. He's made it through as well. Brilliant move from Julian Kunze. Who would have thought that going around the outside of turn 1 would have been the preferred method of overtaking a race? He's got to be careful though, because we've seen that straight line speed from Banki. And around the curve of Grande, it's going to be in full effect. He's going to try and, I imagine, throw his way up the inside of the De La Roger chicane. Yes, he does. It's very late. But Kunze goes around the outside to defend, and he defends well at that. Brilliant stuff from the one-time championship leader. Kunze's up into P5.
Great move, and once again, great respect shown between these 2 drivers here. Oh, mistake by Kunze. He was on the gravel. Sorry to interrupt you there, but...
No, of course. I missed it.
And now we see Banki again.
Yeah. Forced to the outside. Very much the Banki move from corners previous. Kunze taking advantage of that now, but once again, Rob, we've got 2 very, very prominent slipstreaming opportunities for the Slovakian to take that P5 back. And looking at the timer as well, I'd imagine we're going to be going on to the final lap as well.
Yes, and this guy here, Jack Keithley, he made his overtaking move against Revanak, and since then he's been off into the distance. Final lap for him, but we have to watch the battles, of course. And I think Banki lost a little bit of time compared to Kunze here.
Did as well. I mean, that's incredible how much time he's lost, actually. I do wonder why, as further back up the front, this is Rebanak and Maulana going into battle once again, but even still, I can't understand what Rebanak's doing wrong, Rob, because he's got the optimum setup on the straights, but he just can't swing it around the outside.
I think Maulana was not giving him any space there. And now it's going to be difficult. Where can he really make the pass?
Parabolica, if any place, is probably the best, especially on this final lap. Further back outside the points, Vinny Oliveira scrapping away with Aaron Taruna.
Oh, Bunky on the inside.
Retired from this race. Bunky on the inside indeed of the De La Roger chicane. And back through on Kunze. So that straight line speed definitely coming into effect. And look at Honzik and Puglisi as well now looking to get involved in this battle. Honzik going around the outside of Lesmo 1. A little bit of a slip there from Kunze. He's under pressure as this all of a sudden turns into a four-way scrap.
Just need to watch quickly here if Revanak is going to make a move into Ascari on the outside. I don't think this will work. Oh, bit of a mistake. Just taking a look here. The next group of cars. Kunze on the outside, Bunky ahead of him. Doesn't work yet. Jack Keithley, he's gonna win the race here. But we will watch the battles on this final lap.
It's got to be an amazing undercut from Siggy, but I don't even think he's got any purchase there. It'll be the best exit he's ever had in his life. It's been a pretty good race for Jack Keithley. I mean, maybe not the best in his life, but he'll take a win nonetheless. His second of the season. He becomes the first man to pick up 2 race wins in league play. And Maulana, well, he'll be picking up another podium to add to his already massive collection. That's his 5th of the season. Revanak 3rd with Yarshall 4th. Banky did hold on for P5 there ahead of Kunze and Honzik. Puglisi, incidents to check after the race certainly, but on track he finishes pace in his debut at his home track. Andre Santos was able to fight his way back inside the top 10 after a miserable race of incidents, P9. And on his debut actually, Pereira Jalou picking up the final point there in P10.
Emre Cihan actually the only DNF of this race. Jack Keithley, what a race this was from him, and also what a quick race. Everyone just crossed the line and, you know, now it's already over. Now we can already see the results, but Jack Keithley picking up valuable points and almost securing his place at the final. So I think for Keithley, Maulana and Revanak, it's pretty much secured that we will see them at the Hockenheimring in October.
What of Kunze? What of Santos, though? Bence Bunky, the danger man in that particular scenario. And I don't think you can count out Tim Yarshall either. Both of them outscoring Kunze and Santos. As I say, it's going to need a huge shift in momentum, Rob, in these final couple of races now for anyone to jump into that established top 5. But if there's any way to start it, you might as well start it small, and maybe this is the beginning of something rather spectacular.
We've got 2 more races coming up in the online season, of course. And the next race, that's gonna happen at the Nürburgring. And in fact, in just a moment, we will have a look at the standings. Not at the standings, of course, at the calendar. Yeah, so here we go. Nürburgring, the qualifier is still on. You can join if you want to. You can try it yourself, because it's free. You can just go to Race Room at YouTube. The link is in the description. On Facebook, just type in Race Room. And then you can try it out yourself. You can drive with the keyboard, you can drive with the controller. But most of these guys, they race with the steering wheel, with the game seat. And maybe you will actually qualify for the race at the Nürburgring, where we will also be back with the live broadcast at September the 9th.
It's one more race of the 2005 C-Class before we have our final car change at the final rounds of the season of the Red Bull Ring, the 2015 DTM car. That's at the end of September as well. So we are less than a month away until the end of league play in Season 3. If you are just looking to spectate, that September the 9th date is the one you're looking out for next. That is when the broadcast for Round 8 of 9 is going to be taking place, and we do hope to see as many of you there as possible. Any last thoughts, Rob?
Well, all I can say is congrats to Jack Keithley. Been getting stronger as the season progresses, and we will see who will win at the Nürburgring. Last year, a fantastic race, great battle between Keithley and Kunze for the win. Who will it be this time? Maybe Tim Yarshall.
Maybe we will have another new winner. Maybe we will have a second repeat winner. Maybe Jack Keithley, he's going to go on a streak now and score 2 in a row. There's only one way to find out, and that is to join us next time. But until then, big thank you to Robert Wiesemuller, the cameraman and co-commentator extraordinaire. My name's been James Kirk, and from all of us here, it is a very warm goodbye.